let's get right into it. So yeah, we are going to talk about wave management today. Yeah, first of all, you see here a clip of excessive wave management. But wave management is very important. Why? Is because first of all, it makes laning very easy. You can even win losing matchups just straight up with the fact that you understand how the game works and how lanes work and how minions work. You can get CS advantages, which means you get your items faster, you get spikes faster, you are able to get a bigger impact in the game overall. So that's why a basic knowledge of how laning works is very important because most of the times people already win and lose the game in a very early stage of the game. The base principles which we're going to talk about today is the even state, which means the lane is in an even state, so the minions are almost equal and the wave is just going to stick in the middle for some time. Then you have the slow push, which means that it takes around 2 or 3 waves until your wave hits their turret if you're around here. And then you have the hard push or the crash where you just push really hard. And then we have the freeze. And the freeze is biggest talk of today. So first of all, the really basic knowledge, which you have to understand before talking about wave management itself. Waves and minions come in a wave. They consist of 3 melee minions and 3 caster minions. And every third wave, the thing resets and the minions become stronger. And every third wave, you get a siege minion before 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you get every it's bi-wavely or something. I don't know how to say it, but one wave you get a siege minion and one wave not. Siege minion or cannon minion, by the way. And after 35 minutes, you get every wave a siege minion, and then when the inhibitor is taken, you get a super minion every wave. So this is really important. The first part for understanding when a siege minion is coming, because pushing a wave with a siege minion is harder and takes more time, so you should take that into account. Then we have the timers themselves. So every 30 seconds a mini wave spawns. They start at 105. And like I said, every block, so every third wave, the minions become stronger. Mid lane minions get there at 2.27, and the side lane minions get their first siege minion. Oh wait, never mind, I'm talking really bullshit. So the first siege minion wave is there bot lane at mid lane at 227 and bot lane or top lane at 237. And inhibitors, give 5 minutes of super minions. Then we get the gold. The pictures are not very accurate. They're a bit lying, but they just are beautiful pictures. So the top part is the most important part. You see here you get 21 gold for each mid minion, 14 for each caster, and then you get 60 for each cannon minion, which is divided by 3 because it gets before 20 minutes. Here it says 15, so apparently it changed. This is the newest info. So apparently it's every 15 minutes. So which means an average wave is around 125 gold, which means by just having it's 2.5 waves, you already have a kill. So building CS advantages really adds up and give a like early lead just with not killing them even. Then also which is important is XP. You get a lot of XP of waves, so denying XP from enemies is an easy way to get ahead and get your level 6 faster, get your power spikes as well, and become more valuable in teamfights because you already have your R. And also you get power spikes of level 2, 3 on waves. So as a laner, you should know when you get level 2 on the wave, how much minions you have to kill when you get level 3 on a wave. For example, mid lane, you should take 7 minions before getting level 2, and on the side lanes you get on bot lane, because it's a dual lane, you have to kill 9 minions. Because oftenly you just push for level 2 and then you start fighting because you have the advantage. Then for farming under tower, also for just building up the CS lead, is melee minions need 2 tower shots and then 1 auto attack. Caster minions need 1 auto attack, 1 tower shot, 1 auto attack. The first auto attack is in the early game, because on the later stage of the game you get more AD for ADCs, mostly for mages you use abilities, mostly for farming. So often you don't need the first auto attack, but that depends on your champion. So you should just train that in a custom game, in a practice tool, to get a feeling of when your champion is able to kill a minion on its own, and doesn't need the first auto attack. Then a cannon minion should take 7 tower shots and then 1 auto attack, and it lives with 15 HP after 7 turret shots. So when it already has like taken 1 damage from a minion, you should keep in mind that you should auto attack 6 tower shots and then 1 auto attack as well. So this is for every state when a minion is 100% HP when it hits the tower. So that's not always accurate with the game itself. So you should be able to adapt your knowledge on what you see. Then we have the last minion information. The first part is the most important. When you attack an enemy champion or an ally, when an enemy champion attacks an ally champion, the minions will focus you. So this is the order in what this is the order where minions take focus. So if you attack an enemy champion, the wave will focus you if you're in range. Keep this in mind when you are freezing, or you want to build up a slow push. If you attack enemy champions, the minions will focus you, and you can probably turn the wave around and get a slow push into them. So you should always keep notice of the first part. Yeah, then the second part is enemy minions attacking allied champion, enemy minions attacking allied minion, enemy turrets attacking an allied minion, enemy champion attacking an allied minion, the closest enemy minion, the closest enemy champion. So this is the order. Yeah, first of all, are there questions about the minion information itself? And say if I'm going too fast, by the way, because I have a tendency to do so.
I had a small question about you said that every block the minion stats increase.
Yes.
Then I was a little bit confused if you meant like block 1 and then was past 20 minutes.
No.
Have 2 waves, block 2. Yeah, so I looked it up myself, and it's every 3 waves.
Yeah, every 3
90
waves.
seconds.
Yeah, so every block like this.
Yes.
Because the block resets the whole time.
Yeah. But that was a little bit confusing because past 20 minutes the second block is 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, fair. Oh, yeah, okay, true. It's 9 seconds then.
Yes. And then what about the priority behavior, the last slide you showed?
Yeah.
It says that, as I see here, that it only switches target if there's one with higher priority. But sometimes minions do tend to just leave targeted minions behind and go for the enemy turret, which throws off chasing a little bit. Is there any reason for that that you know of, or is it just random?
I think it is mostly random, maybe because of range of the minion itself, but
okay.
I'm not sure about it.
Makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then we have the even state. It's just a basic. The wave is in the middle, and it's not going to move unless if somebody out attacks. So if you are the ADC and you are just going to push, yeah, then it's going to push in one direction. But mostly, when it's an even state, it's gonna be this way for 2 or 3 waves. But then just because of random minion auto attacks, it's gonna push in one way or the other. But this is called the even state. So then why you should freeze? So first of all, the cons, the pros rather. Because you deny the other laners XP and money, and also you could set up ganks. They need to have resources to break the freeze, because if you do the freeze correct, you can freeze for indefinitely if you really master it. So it's an easy way to set up ganks and to punish the enemy when they want to break the freeze, to have a counter gank. Yeah, stop ganks, because if the wave is frozen under your tower, yeah, you're not going to get collapsed on. The only thing which can happen is that they come to dive you and fast push the wave. And yeah, if you freeze yourself, you cannot be frozen on. It's fairly straightforward, but it's yeah. If you want, yeah, it just if you push the wave in a slow push, they can always freeze. So if you just let it slow push to you, you set up a freeze, then the wave turns around and you hard push. You can never be frozen on. And that's why you don't need to overextend. Then here we have an example of Nick's game, which
What?
that was the Singed Yumi game. But I was just looking mid, and here you see the Silas is freezing the wave here. Kassadin has to respect. Kassadin wants to push this wave to get a reset, but he has no vision on the jungler, because the whole jungle is black. So he has to pay more respect and give minions away. So Kassadin is gonna need help of the jungler to get this pushed in. Ooh. So this is why freezing is very important, because you just okay, funny. Because you just build a lead and they have to overextend. So your jungler could be waiting somewhere here and just be there when the gank is needed. Here. In this case, yeah, this tower should be gone. I don't know why in this picture the turret still is here, but I just think that this one's already taken. So imagine your laner is freezing here, and enemy Silas, yeah, wants to really get the wave crushed in the tower and then reset. He cannot push the wave, so he needs a Juani to break the freeze. But you're always faster to respawn, because it's on your side, your half side of the map. So they need to get resources there, but you are always faster on the punish. So that's why freezing in the later stage of the game, think around 20 until 40 minutes, is very effective to let other people overextend. And then freezing itself. This is more like lane mechanic, actually. It's maybe not on the right title, but it's okay. This picture is mostly for bottom and top lane. So in the middle of the wave, when you don't have any minions, when the minions are even, you don't have a minion advantage. Yeah, the wave will stick here. In this case, for the enemy wave to push to your tower, you need one extra minion. On this area, you need 2 extra minions, and on this you need 3. Keep in mind that this is kind of arbitrary, because there is a difference in melee and caster minions, but this is more indicatory. I don't know.
Indicative.
Yeah, indicative. Thanks. And for mid lane, it's almost the same, but you need more minions to get the freeze going. You need in this area you need 4 minions in mid lane. So just before the tower. Yeah, and also here we are talking about minions which are 100% full HP. So you need 1 minion full HP. So keep in mind that 2 minions half HP equals 1 minion. Almost. Then the basics of how to set up a freeze. First of all, you let the other opponent push. Then you trim the wave, because you don't want the wave to hard push into you. and then you just keep it frozen. You leave the wave there that it don't crashes into your tower, because then it will push back into them. But you just leave it somewhere before your tower, and you always keep more minions of them alive, so they will always push your wave in, and the next wave will add up to the wave which is already there. And you always have their minions pushing into you, which means you sometimes have to stack the wave like this. You need to hold it, that it doesn't crash into your tower, but your wave comes and crashes here, and not before your tower. That is why you sometimes have to pull it. That you will lose health before, because of it. But yeah, that's just side effect of freezing sometimes. Then here, this is an example of me holding a wave, pulling it. This may be excessive. These are maybe too many minions, but it still gets the point there, because you see my wave is here. If I wouldn't have done this, the wave would have crashed here into the other wave, and then turret would have pushed it, and my wave would have gone away. So this is an easy way to just let the wave here. And now enemy top laner would have to overextend to break it, and then your jungler could be the first to respawn. So that's mostly for teaming later. Freezing and setup ganks is a very effective tool to punish the enemy laner, certainly if he's inexperienced and doesn't know what to do with it. So then we have the reason when. Then we have when to freeze. If you're receiving constant attention from the enemy jungler, you can just set up a freeze, and yeah, you're not that you're not that gankable, say it in a weird way, but you're not. Yeah, you don't have to overextend, and he can just come behind you, and you die to an easy gank. So this way they have to dive you, and you can maybe turn it around. So it's a way safer playstyle. Also, if you are behind in lane, you just freeze that you don't have to overextend and get ganked on the whole time. And then the last part is if enemy has recalled and the wave is not going to crash into their tower and reset or bounce. So that means to your tower and reset. Yeah, so you just keep the wave frozen, you recall, and then the wave is still frozen when you come back. The console freezing, it allows enemy to roam because the wave is stuck in a position before your tower. Enemy could go and roam mid, for example, if you're bot lane. You could also get vision in your jungle. So you give kind of the map away in some way, but you get yourself ahead. Also, they could slow push into your tower and get the jungler there, and then just dive you. And you should also practice it very hard, because it's not that hard to fuck up a freeze and get it into slow push. Most of the time, your freeze is not for your entire life. It could be that enemy team starts to break your freeze, but sometimes you just push too hard, you trim the wave too hard, and then it becomes a slow push into them. So just practicing that in a practice tool is always a great idea. Yeah. Question about the freezing.
I have another question. You
Love
said
it.
that freezing is most effective 20 to 40 minutes into the game.
No.
That's what
This
I
is
remember
this way
you
of
saying.
freezing. Yeah. You can freeze also before 20 minutes. That's no issue. You can freeze
No.
with
But
5
I
minutes. But
was more saying that like after 20 minutes, more like mid game, where I'd say you more start to group for objectives and stuff. So if you freeze, then the enemy is just going to group up with 5 for the objectives.
That's why you only do it when there are no objectives.
Okay.
You freeze it in the entire time, so you deny them gold, and then when the objective turns up, you actually try to push it on time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, when you try to freeze in that period, should you just not freeze when you don't have teleport? Because if you
freeze here,
for instance, and then Drake is in about a minute or two.
yeah, then you should. Yeah, when it's like 130, you start to push the wave really hard, and then you get a reset, and then you just walk to the bottom to get
Okay,
the TP.
So when you finish, you really have to pay attention to the objective timers.
Yeah, exactly. And you should indeed take notice of your summoner spells. Yeah, summoner spells. Yeah.
Alright, thank you.
Pull the wave. Then we have the slow push. Yeah, I already mentioned a lot this term. A slow push means that you have 1 or 2 extra minions. And you kill their minions slow, you wait until your next wave comes, and then you have a really big stacked wave, and then you just get it into their tower, as soon as possible. You can leave it with 3 melee minions. I have no clue actually what this picture means. It's really strange, but you can use 3 of those. But it's mostly to crush your wave into them to get a reset or to take objectives.
We're playing against Murthos. You heard of this?
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Then with the hard push, yeah, it means you just build up a wave and you really fast kill the enemy minions at a certain point. That you get a stacked wave as well. Which after the hard push you can roam. I think I fucked up the slow push and the hard push actually in my mind. Because mostly a slow push turns into a hard push. So first of all, you start with a really slow moving wave, and then you create a hard push. So I did mention that wrong. So yeah, here you see you get a little CS advantage, but it's pushing into that direction. And then when your next wave comes, you create a hard push. So you get the stacked wave, you get the next wave in, and then you kill the enemy minions to get a hard push going. And then you're able to roam, to reset, to influence the map furthermore. Yeah, this is the funny part. So kill the enemy, push the tower, recall. It's really straightforward, but yeah, it's the easiest way to say it. Like just if you kill it, just get your wave pushed into the tower if it's possible and reset. It's not that hard. Because sometimes people just let the wave crash into them, they reset after the kill, and then they lose their whole wave. The wave is pushing back into the enemy, they freeze. And then the kill was really worth nothing because you lost even more XP and even more gold in total. This is
question.
Yeah. Go.
1 slide before this.
Hard push.
About slow pushing. Like, what are the cases where you would only want to slow push and never hard push afterwards?
Cheater recall. That's one example.
Yeah, but you always isn't not that you always get a slow push into a hard push.
Isn't the
At a
cheater
certain
recall
point?
based on a hard push?
No, cheater recall is based on a slow push. So you push in, you get lane advantage level 1, so you get the advantage on the minions, so you get level 2 earlier, so you have dominance over the wave. Then you kill the second wave really slowly while trying to zone and pressure the enemy top laner. Then when the third wave meets, it meets if you do it correctly and not accidentally push it too fast in. Let's say, for example, you're Tristana. If you're Tristana, you can never do probably a cheater recall because you automatically hard push the wave in. So the idea of cheatering and then slow pushing is then to let the third wave meet right before the tower, then you hard push, then you push the whole stack mini waves in, and then you get a free recall. That's the whole idea of the cheat.
Yeah, but that's the thing I mean. Like, you then eventually hard push. I mean, like, are there any cases where you just let it slow push and crash eventually?
on top lane. So the whole idea of the cheater recall and what happens a lot in pro play is that when one person goes for the cheater recall, the other person slow push the wave to stack the minion wave, then you have the minion advantage, and then they basically do another cheater recall right after.
But he means like before you crash your wave into, you get a hard push.
Yeah, so Maxime was talking about, okay, well, every slow push somehow revolves into a hard push, which is logical because you stack a wave and then you hard
get
push it. free roam potential and etc. But is there maybe any case where you would just let it slow push all the time, and then like eventually it will crash, right? Because you're slow pushing.
Well, you would.
I think the wave is always going to stack. So
That's what you only do that if you go for a roam, I think. If you go for a dive, it's always better to at the end hard push it right on time when the jungler comes. Than for other cases like recalling, it's probably maybe only recalling and roaming. That's maybe the only thing. You want to have as much time as possible, so that's why you probably want to slow push it at the end.
the whole time. Yeah, okay, fair.
The problem is if you already slow pushed enough and it is really close to their tower, then basically slow pushing or hard pushing doesn't make a lot of difference. They are already so close to their tower. You basically also want to shorten the time that you're so overextended. If you really slow push when it's already next to their tower, you put yourself in so much danger. Yeah, exactly. Even though you have a huge minion wave to back you up, you still are vulnerable to ganks right after.
Yeah, so basically it's like probably the worst case scenario, right? When you have even amount of minions and the wave is almost up to their tower and maybe you're like slow pushing or something.
Yeah.
If they're even and you're next to their tower, it's always going to slow push towards you. So
yeah, but you still have a lot of time to spend near their tower, right?
Yeah, so that's why you want to hard push at the right moment. So at the moment the jungler is near your lane, you are already so the time at the jungler is when your lane should already be like 40 seconds before you should have already hard pushed the wave in.
Because either you hard push there and get freed up, or you have to lose maybe the whole wave because you're not allowed to walk up, right?
Yep. Because that's the whole thing, like getting frozen on with your jungler bot side and enemy jungler top side is literally the worst case that could happen.
Was that the only question you had, Flores?
We're playing against Murthos.
Yeah, for now.
Okay, then just a quick video of LS explaining the cheater recall. It's really easy, and certainly for solo laners, it's really effective. So I'm gonna shut my mouth.
And that's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah, slow push
Is it
one.
still an Emax thing?
Huh? No, because our E got buffed. Now we max Q.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. That's fine. No, you shouldn't have autoed.
Oh, I thought I was slow pushing.
We're waiting for wave 2. Yeah, and we're gonna wait. Now we're gonna keep slow pushing. And Kindred invaded Karthus, and we didn't see. That's fine. Love it.
Don't care.
No, don't die to Kindred.
Oh.
Okay. All right, wait for wave 3, and then we're gonna hard shove. No. Okay.
I'm just matching his auto.
Yeah, try to get a tentacle again. Okay, ready? Hard shove. Start shoving. Yeah. Start shoving. Shove.
I need a tent.
Yeah. W. Shove. Okay, recall. Okay, recall. No, not right in front of him. He's gonna walk up and eat you.
He won't do shit. He's scared.
Okay. Whatever.
Exactly. Dorn's Blade?
Call. Go.
So here you get to kill, you just damn. Hello, my
We're playing against Mirth.
So here you get back into the wave, you have the kill, and the wave is just pushing into you. You lost no time, almost no minions, maybe one, in the worst case 2, but that's it. And now you have a slow pushing wave into you, and you can just easily set up a freeze, and you're 1 item ahead. So that's why the cheater recall is very effective. Yeah, you should try to implement as much as possible in your games. Yeah, Flores?
Well, I can imagine that depending on the champion you're playing, you need to... Yeah, how do I put it? Slow push it harder or softer the second wave? Am I right there? Because if you push it too slow... Yeah, how do I put it?
I think the most important part is that you match the enemy auto attacks, so that he's not getting the excess minions. That you have
Yeah, but in this case it
advantage.
works, right? Because Skarner cannot push it. He doesn't have the priority to push it.
Yeah, exactly,
himself.
and that was because Ilawi had the level 2 first.
Yeah,
And
but
also
what,
you had the
what
minion
now if you're
advantage.
not like? Yeah, I guess you're always in time to hard push it. But what now if you're basically too slow to push it?
If you're, for example, you can always do it actually. Like even a LeBlanc who has like 0 push potential has always his abilities to throw it into the wave.
Right, and they cannot ever like freeze it if you're too slow.
Cheater recall doesn't work on mid, by the way. Not as effective.
Yeah, true. Wait. For example, if you look here, he could try to freeze the wave, but then you just walk up, and he cannot tank this wave. He's able to.
He might have
able
stopped
to.
you, maybe, or not.
You stopped your recall. That's why you should recall into the push and not let it. Not here. That's why LS also said like not go back
no,
in space.
I mean he's stopping your recall by having you to intercept his freeze. But not like he can freeze here because the
Yeah, exactly.
well, maybe he could have, but
he will take he will take a lot of he will take a lot of damage of minions. The wave will crash, and then the wave will slow push into you. He's half HP, and you just freeze on his face.
Yeah, but what my question was like, if he tries, so if he attempts to freeze this wave, you interrupt him and you basically win HP, but you wouldn't be able to recall, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you just have a minor victory in lane.
But then the wave will push into you, and then the HP advantage will get you maybe further.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hello. So then the next slide is very short. It's about communication. So for example, if you set up a freeze, get in touch with your jungler, say, okay, I'm going to freeze, and then the jungler can respond on it. You can try to do it in solo queue with pinging a few, like 30, 40 seconds ahead. But yeah, I think it's mostly a team thing. But junglers, it would be nice if you understand how lane works as well. To look at the wave and see, okay, he's going to freeze, and then I'm going to respond as well. And then the last slide was practice. Practice. So the practice of today is just play a 1v1 with someone. If you're a bot lane player, you can do the 2v2 and just try to abuse your early lane dominance with just controlling the wave. So for example, you play Queen against Fiora, you play Fizz against Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate should here always have the priority game, so you should be able to get lead somewhere. With freezing, with letting the Fizz almost overextend the whole time. Okay, there's no jungler, but just do the 1v1 and win lane that way. So that's the practice of today. Damn, the slide was longer than I expected to be. But let's first take a short break.
Woo!
Yay.
Good job, Maxime.